Yeah, 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 yeah. Good morning, good afternoon, good after morning. I just made that up right now. What up, y'all? How y'all doing? How ya, how ya, how ya doing? Uh, uh. Welcome to 1 billion brave. Welcome to 1 billion brave. Welcome to 1 billion brave. Good morning, good afternoon. Did y'all get y'all breakfast in? Did y'all get y'all lunch in for those in the East Coast? Yeah? No? Listen, I am so glad you guys are here because this episode is about to be bananas. Okay, but before I do that, let me formally introduce everybody because I don't want to get ahead of myself. Welcome to another episode of 1 Billion Brave. We in there. Episode 4. Like, we're in episode 4. That's wild, bro. So, TV host. Okay, Lord, I hear you. Talk show host. The very first. Yes, come on, God. Let's get it going. So, let's get into the house rules. 1, no profanity. This show is not about to deal with no profanity. It's too many words in the dictionary. 2, no religious, no gender, no politics bashing. We don't get down like that. Um, this show is going to represent Jesus Christ. That's who I serve. So I'm gonna give him all the platform in the world because I know who my help comes from. Okay, I know. And this show is about the disabled community shedding light on the view of what it looks like to deal with adversity, but how do you come out of it, and giving people the confidence and just a reminder to know that you are somebody, to let people know who you are and whose you are. Point and a period. That's it. So you're gonna get a lot of diversity and transparency on this show. All right, now we got the house rules out the way. So episode 4. What's the title, Dōmo? I'm glad you asked. Girl dad. Think about it. Girl dad. You already know that's like a super big trend right now. Girl dad. And we have a super dope guest on the show. Like, it's my bro. Are y'all ready for him? Josh, will you get on the stage? Get on.
What up,
Get on.
though?
Yo.
What up,
Oh
though?
my God.
What up, sis? I'm
How
happy
you
to be here.
living?
I'm good. I'm alive, man. It's a good day to be alive, man. I'm just like, for real talk, with everything that's going on in the world, I'm just happy to be alive. Like, I get to see
Okay.
another day. You feel what I'm talking about? Like,
That's
we, I think,
huge.
I think we take that so much for granted.
Right.
Especially if that's one thing this pandemic has taught me is to be grateful for what I do have.
Right.
I think before the pandemic, we had so many aspirations, and it's not wrong to have them. But I think in our journey to reach those aspirations, we don't take time to enjoy where we're at.
Right.
So when we had to quarantine, we really had to sit, and we really had to. That's really it. We really had to
Yeah,
sit and really look at,
that's it.
like,
We had
this
to
is
soak
where
in that thing.
what I got to be grateful for.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, somebody said, hey, I'm
My
sorry.
mom, that's my mom. Hey,
But
Josh.
how you doing? But for real, it really, I'm really grateful because at the end of the day, here we go. Jesus is the giver of life, so
That's it.
it's like it's His breath in my body, and so if He's choosing to give me breath in my body, then that's
Right.
one of the things to be grateful for because it's
I'm
not even my
so
breath.
with
You know what I'm
that.
talking about? Like, it's not my breath, it's His,
Right.
and He chose to give it to me. So what am I going to complain for?
Man, you listen, you already preaching. We about to call you
Man,
Bishop.
stop playing with me.
Okay.
Stop playing with me. I
Bishop.
appreciate the down of the hat. Don't play with me.
Yo, so let's get into it though.
So
I
let's do
definitely
it.
want people to know who you are. So intro formally introduce the people. Just tell us a little bit about who you are and what's your limitation. What you
Um,
doing with?
well, first, I'm Josh, as you can see on the screen. Joshua Williams. That's my formal name. I like to go by Josh. Joshua makes me sound like I'm in trouble, so I just go by Josh. Um, but I am 29 years old. God, I'm getting up there. I'm 29 years old, and I am a father. I am a husband. I am an elder in the church I go to. Shout out to Rainbow Word Ministries, Apostle Marcus Robinson,
Shout out.
in Lake Elsinore. Y'all come check us out. Um, I have what's called diplegic cerebral palsy. I was diagnosed at the age of 2. And what diplegic cerebral palsy is, it's muscle stiffness in the hips and the legs. And how I ended up becoming that way was my mom. She was pregnant. I was supposed to be a twin, and she was pregnant with twins. And my brother passed away in the womb, and when he passed away in the womb, they had to do an emergency C-section. And when they did the C-section, his umbilical cord was caught around my legs, so it cut off the blood flow circulation to my legs. Like I said, we didn't like know that I was diagnosed until I was about 2, because at 2 years old you're supposed to have your by 2 you should already be walking. You should already
Right.
be able to sit up with a straight posture. And being that that didn't happen, they took me to Children's Specialized Hospital in Mount Sinai, New Jersey. Love that hospital. Practically grew up there. Um, but they took me there, and that's where I was diagnosed with cerebral palsy.
Wow. First of all, I didn't even know that you were a twin.
Yeah,
Okay, so question. So I know like when with people that are twins, they have like that connection. So although your twin passed, do you still kind of have that like that feeling, that detachment?
it's really weird, honestly, and like I don't really. It's crazy because I don't really talk about him that much. My
Mhm.
mom, she always talks about him like when my birthday comes around. She talks about his name was Joseph. His name was Joseph. So
Come
that
on,
that's what she
Joseph and
wanted to name
Josh.
him. And so it's crazy because I really, there are times, like I'm not even playing. There are times where I'm like, I can feel him. And
Yeah,
so, but I don't really talk about it because I don't want to spook people out. And then, but there are, that's for real. There really are times where it's like I can feel like my brother. But honestly, if I'm being transparent, those times come really in motivation, because there's some times where I'm just like,
yeah,
man. And honestly, those times really come, and we gonna get into it. There are times where, like, for real, that I need that push and that encouragement, and it doesn't come from, and I'm not, shooting on nobody, but it doesn't come from the people around me. And yes, my
right.
encouragement does come from God, but I feel like sometimes he leaves him there to be like, Josh, go.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm
It's
not
that
big
push.
on, on necromancy and stuff like that. People like, I see my grandma and all this stuff. That's cool.
Mhm.
That's a discussion for another topic. But at the end of the day, yeah, I really do. There are times where I feel like, there are times where I'm like, yeah,
I figured that because I mean that's just a twin thing. Like so, although your twin has passed, that's there's still a connection.
yeah, most definitely,
There always
most
is.
definitely.
That's that. Wow, your story is already like, okay, God, I see you again doing your thing
Yeah, it,
again.
it's it's crazy. My mom tells me, and this is the crazy part. Like, my mom, when she was telling me the story, there was a time, I think she said I was about, she said I was 2 months, and there was a time where I stopped breathing. I have this scar on my neck. It's
Wow,
right here. Can't get up close, but it's right here. Um, where they had to run a tube down from my neck to my heart because I had stopped breathing.
wow,
And during that time, they of course they kept me in the hospital. And during that time, she said I was out of here like 4 times. I was out of here. I was gone. And the doctor called her and was like, "Hey, he's gone. Like, just move." But she would tell him, because my mom is also, she's saved, And
Yeah.
she was like, she would tell the doctor, "Oh, he's not dead." And she said, "Well, what happened is she would come to the hospital, and when she would come to the hospital, man, I feel God. She would come to the hospital, and when she would come to the hospital, she said I would wake up. I would wake up,
Wow.
and then I would be good." So that was I was in a incubator for about 2 months, 2 months. But man, I always say this, like God had a plan, because it's amazing. I'm sorry, I feel God. I'm sorry.
No,
It's
no.
when, like
Listen,
when I
you
look
good.
at it, when I look at it, and maybe I should start talking about it a lot more. But when I look at it, death passed over me twice.
Wow.
So why am I, man, bro? So why am I going to trip about a pandemic when death skipped over me twice?
Okay.
And at the end of the day, I'm sorry. I just feel like if you if you have a purpose, if you have a God-given purpose, and I don't know if I'm talking to somebody, but if you have a God-given purpose, death can't touch you. Death has to death has to get permission from God himself. Man, I feel God. Death has to get permission from God himself to even touch you,
Ooh.
because God, that's good. God, that's
That's
good.
good.
And we could really like delve in, and we gonna be talking about my daughter and girl dad.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
wonderful.
No, no, no. This is
But
good.
the
This is
truth of the
God.
matter, the truth of the matter is Domo. I'm sorry. I feel God. That
You
comes out
good.
of me.
You good.
I feel God. Because check this out. Check this out. I just was teaching on Job a few months ago, and I was like, dang, when you really look at Job, God gave the Satan permission to touch everything he had, even down to his body, Domo.
Kill him.
Even down to his body. He said, you can touch everything he has, including his body, but one thing you
Right.
cannot touch is his
Don't
life.
kill him.
And
Woo!
the beautiful thing about that is this: that when Jesus died for us, he said this. He said, "Behold, I have the keys to death." That's the first thing. Death, hell, and the grave.
And the grave.
And the grave. He said, "Death, hell, and the grave." And those are the things that try to
God
weigh
has
us down.
permission. Woo! That's deep, bro.
It's by death, hell, and the grave.
Deep.
And that's the beautiful thing. God will keep you alive. God will keep you alive because of strictly for purpose. So even what I'm going through in my body is purposeful.
It's
It ain't even for
purposeful.
me, Domo. It ain't even for me. It's for somebody else. That's and check this out.
Listen, let me
God,
tell you
I'm
something.
sorry.
Let
I'm
me
sorry.
no,
Go ahead.
no,
Go ahead.
because this is deep, bro. Let me tell you something. You don't even know how much confirmation you've literally said just from these few minutes, what I've been preaching on and what I've been teaching on my show. Like my
Wow.
favorite
Wow.
scripture is, my comfort in my suffering is this: your promise
Come
preserves
on.
my life.
Come on.
I say that every day, and that is what I tell everyone on this show every single season. I mean, every single, come on, God. Okay, every single season, I got you. Every single episode that I've been on this show, I let people know, if you have a purpose, can't nothing stop you in front of you coming. There's nothing that can stop you. Why? Because you're so focused on your purpose.
Exactly.
You don't see
Exactly.
nothing else.
Exactly. And
That's
even,
deep.
man, what's crazy, Domo, is that pain is a part of purpose. Pain is a part of I'm learning that even now, that
Yeah.
pain is a part of purpose. Like we're talking about parenting. When my daughter was born,
Yeah.
somebody had to go through pain for her to get here.
Right.
So your level of pain, Jesus's pain, pushed us to where we needed to be. You are not going to walk in purpose. You are not going to walk in purpose without pain.
Period.
You're not. It's like we have this we have this perception that, okay, when I'm walking in my purpose, yes, and you very well may be. You very well may be walking in your purpose.
Hmm.
But anytime you're walking into purpose, you're also walking into a season of pain. Jesus said when he was about to be crucified, he was praying. He said, if it's possible, if there's any other way, let this cup pass from me. But he said, nevertheless, not my will, your will
But
be
your
done.
will.
When he was talking about the cup, he was talking about, when he talking about let this cup pass, he was talking about the cup of suffering
Yes, the
because he knew what
suffering.
he had to go through. He knew
Right.
what he had to go through, but that was his purpose.
Right.
His purpose was to die.
Right.
His purpose was to die so that we can be saved. And man, to push us
That's
into the
deep.
God-given purpose of our life, I'm off that. But that's why I said you should have invited me on your show because
Oh
I
no,
can go.
that's deep. And the thing is, you just came from prayer, so you pumped, bro.
Man, I'm telling you, God
I
has a
love it.
way. He has a way of waking you up, man, to like
Yeah.
really, really see. And it's all about him anyway, man. But all of
No, like
that was my
I get
story, and that's
I
how
get
we got
that.
here.
No, we listen. We can go on purpose for forever, but we're still gonna tap into purpose because what you've been through could not have led you to your daughter.
Most definitely. Wow.
Period. So how did that? First off, well, we gotta start from top because you are married. So we gotta
Yeah, shout out
represent the
to the
wife as
wife.
well.
Shout out to my wife. Love her
So
dearly,
how did
man.
that topic of conversation um even come up with knowing you personally have a limitation?
Um, okay. So really how that started, we started we were dating we were dating a while. We were dating a while. Back in about 2015 we were dating. And during that time, we were actually talking about having children. And because that's one thing I always loved about my wife, is that she had a heart for children.
Yeah.
Like if you see her interaction with children, it like that's one of the things that I was like, dang. I remember we was in the park, and we had just started dating. We was in the park, and she was helping one of my sisters with her kids. And so she was like, hey, who wants to play hide and seek? And she was just talking to my sister's kids alone. And then all these other kids start coming, and she was like, "Who are these kids?" But that's what she's drawn to, and I love that about her. She's so knowledgeable when it comes to children. But anyway, we were talking about children, and we were like, "Okay, what's the child's name going to be?" And we came up with the name, which is McKenna. Um, but one thing I loved about her is that one thing I love about her, excuse me, is that she never focuses on a person's condition. So
Mm,
when we talked about kids, we never really focused on my condition. We just talked about building a future. And
right.
see that's the type of person I feel like we need if we're
Yes.
going to do the interable thing, because I finally found out the term for that.
Yeah.
We're going to do the interable, dating thing, marriage thing. You have to find somebody that can see your condition, that can be real about your condition, but say, okay, I still see you.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
that that was the beautiful thing about my wife, is that when we talked about kids, she talked to me. She didn't talk to my condition.
Woo!
Yeah. So yeah,
That's good.
yeah. So she really, honestly, talking to her about children honestly made me want to be a father.
Right. Oh,
I
that's
think I
deep.
think that's the real truth of the matter. Talking to her and just hearing her heart, because she's always wanted children. Uh, and I'm not gonna get too personal with that because that's her
Mhm.
story.
Yeah.
But McKenna was a miracle.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
was a miracle, and so being that that was one of her heart's desires, and God being able to fulfill that for her and also for myself has put us in a beautiful place. Like it's
Man.
crazy. So that's really what motivated me. It was her desire to be a mother, made me want to come up and be a father.
I love that. Like that's the perspective is so beautiful because a lot of people don't think like that.
Yeah,
But the fact that your wife gave you um gave you the opportunity to still see the value in
most
being a
definitely.
dad.
She,
Like I don't care about what you've been through. I don't care about what you're going through. I don't care about what you're dealing with. I still
exactly.
see you and
You.
I still see the potential that you can be for your seed.
And that's one thing. That's one thing I love about my wife Lanye is that she's a pusher. She's a
Yeah.
pusher. She will push you. Like she don't. When I tell you my wife don't take no crap, she don't. She will push you. And I honestly too. One thing that our apostle told us when we were counseling things, he was like,
Yeah.
you need that. You need that. And God. I'm learning that God doesn't necessarily give you what you want, but He gives
Right.
you what you
What you
need. And when you want
need.
Him, what you need becomes what you want.
Yes.
And so, she's been that pusher, man. And even in being a father, because I still ain't got it. I don't got it down at
Yeah, yeah.
all. I don't got it down at all. But one thing I love is that she's a pusher, and that she will push you. And she pushed me. She do.
I
Not
love that.
literal, y'all. Not literal.
Yeah.
She don't push me literal.
Yeah, no.
Me.
I hope she
But she pushed me though.
physically yeah. I hope she don't physically with you, but so okay, so future speaking. When your daughter gets older, um, are you going to have like that talk of okay, yes, I am your father. I do have these limitations, so I can't do X, Y, and Z, but what I can do is this.
Um, I'm still honestly, if I'm being real, I'm still thinking about it because I mean the beautiful thing about having a child is that yes, you want to be truthful with them when they ask you, but the beautiful thing about having McKenna is right now she's innocent.
Right.
She doesn't see a disability. She sees
Yeah.
her dad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I think that that's the beautiful thing about raising a child because everything when they come into the world, everything is pure to them. Everything is pure to them. And one thing that I want to teach my daughter is that even in a condition, there's still a person. Because there's
Right.
some grown people that still don't understand that.
Right.
There's some grown people because I say this all the time. You can look at what I have and still not know who I am. You because and look at how people classify us. You are
Yes.
disabled. No, 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 no. I'm not disabled. I have a disability.
Right.
Being
Thank you.
disabled and having a disability is two different things.
Two different
Two different things.
things.
Because and that's and I've learned, I've learned, Domo, to not let people diagnose you.
You are.
Because and that's one of the things that I struggled with. I think that's one of the a lot of the times why I've been depressed is not even because
Mm,
of my own, but because I've let people diagnose me. I've let people, and not all the time their heart was in the wrong place. Oh,
right.
you can't do this, you can't do this. And I say this all the time. How about you focus on what I can do? Because
Yes.
if you focus on what I can do, we can work around what I can't do.
Exactly.
And that's
Exactly.
there's a way for everything now.
I
But I think
mean, literally.
it's like we got so much technology and we have things that are adaptable to us, but I
Yeah.
think if we spend more time focusing on what a person can't do for me and
Right.
what it is, man, really what it is, and I might get in trouble, really what it is when people look at us and see what we can't do, it's really because of what we can't do for them.
Exactly.
It's
Talk
not that we
talk
can't do
about
it.
it
It's not that we can't do it, but it's what we can't do for them.
for them.
But when you really look at a person for who they are, for who they are, and you really start to understand who they are, you'll work around what they can't do. I
Right.
promise you. I
You
promise you.
don't see what they can do because you don't care.
You don't care. It's not a care. Now,
It's not a care.
Now with that, let me add balance. I'm not saying that there won't be obstacles.
Right.
I'm not saying that there won't be obstacles. I'm not saying that you're going to be able to turn a blind eye to it. You're
Hmm.
going to see it. You're going to
Yeah.
see it. You are going to see it.
Yeah.
If I let you in my space, even if I don't let you in my space, you're going to see it. You are going to see it. You're going to see the problem. But it takes a smart person to see the problem and find a solution. You can't, and that's one of the
Sir,
beautiful things. I was asking God, Dōmo. We supposed to be talking about my daughter,
it's
but
okay.
we was but I was asking God. I said God. I said, I need your help. I need your help. I need you to help me with something. Because we have conversations like that. I told
Yeah.
God straight. I said, I need your help with something, God. He said, what's up? I said, well, I don't understand. Because I had one of my complaining slash pity party slash real moments.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You had
I
a
said,
5 minute
God, I don't
moment. You had a
understand.
5 minute moment.
I said, God, I don't understand why you make me like this. Like, I don't understand why you made me like this. He said, first of all, you misspeaking because I didn't make you like anything. He said, I made you in my image and my likeness. So I got
Right.
corrected right there. But then
Right.
he said this. He said, what you got to understand is your condition is a test of people's love. I said, wait. I said, hold on. I said, hold on, God.
Break
What you
that
talking
down.
about?
Help us
I
out.
said,
Help
God, what
us
you talking
out.
about? He said, your condition is a test of people's love because we have become so conditioned. Domo, we have come, he told me this. He said, we have become so conditioned in what our love is that we can't see past a condition. Because, can I be honest? And this is one thing I love about my wife. This is one thing I absolutely love about my wife. This is one thing I absolutely love about my wife is that she had to let go of what her image was of love to see real love.
Woo.
Jesus was the same way. Our problem is, Domo. Our problem is. Can I talk to the audience? Can I talk to
Listen,
them real
because
quick?
they in here.
Can I talk to the audience real quick?
Oh my gosh.
The reason why people with disabilities get passed up is not because they're not good people. It's because people don't look past the condition. We are messing up, Domo. We are messing up. We are messing up. You will disqualify a good person because of what you can't look past. When in
Woo.
reality, you got an issue too. We just can't see it.
Sir.
I, 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 I'm just at a point. I said this. I said this, Domo. It's easier dealing. It's easier dealing, Domo, with a person that's disabled than a person that's dysfunctional.
Yes.
Because what happens is you can help me with my condition. You can help me because it's visible. Man. I'm messing. Man, listen here, because you can help me with mine,
Right.
but we don't understand being emotionally unstable is a disability.
Yep. And people don't see that.
Mm.
And people don't see
If
that.
you're not a disability is something that you are limited in doing. God, I feel you. Thank you, Holy Ghost. You are limited in doing. That's what a disability is.
My God.
If you are limited in your love, you're disabled.
Woo!
Mm. If you don't have patience to deal with somebody, you're disabled. Because what a disability is, it's a lack of strength in an area.
Right.
But when you have the will and the wherewithal to go past it, you'll be all right. You'll be all right. But a lot of us can't do that
Nope.
because of how we've been conditioned. And our
Exactly.
condition is a condition.
Right.
I'm telling you. We supposed to be talking about my baby.
No, no, no,
But
no. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you why this is so deep. Because in order, in order to be a dad, you had to realize all this stuff.
that's for real. That's for
You had
real.
to go through yourself.
Man,
You
it's
had
it's
to
for
get to the mentality of knowing how to build who you are so you can build your daughter.
it is and I'm telling you something. I'm discovering that every day because a father being a father is a role. It's
Yes.
it's a role. And one thing that I love, and that's one thing I love about my baby. That's what I love about my butt. I call it butt because she always
Yeah.
trying to stick a butt out everywhere. But one thing I love about Kenna is it's her innocence.
So
and
innocent.
and and it's because, and right now she's a mommy's girl. That's right now. She a mommy's girl. She gonna cry for her mother. She gonna scream for her mother, and that's cool. I be jealous. I tell her I be
Right. But
jealous
I'm gonna
because
give you your time.
I'll be spending time with her, and then she'll cry for mommy, and then like she'll do this thing. She'll do this thing where she'll like holler, and then as soon as her mom comes in the room and pick her up, she'll pick her up and she'll look at me and start smiling.
Wow.
I see you. My
All
baby
right.
shady already. She's
Oh,
shady,
right.
but I love her. But the beautiful thing is while looking at McKenna and trying to figure this dad thing out, um, it's helping me develop who I am, even my confidence. And I'm not gonna lie to you, there are times where I think one of the biggest things I struggle with as a dad is the physical aspect, because I want to be able to give my daughter piggyback rides. I want to be able
Yeah.
to take her out and take her on walks and do
Right.
those things that dad wants to do. But one of the things that gets me determined, is that, one, of course, I have the faith that I'm not always going to be like this. Is it always easy to believe? No. But I do have the faith to believe that I'm not going to be like this always. But even if so, if God wills it to be so, that this is how I'm going to live my life till I leave here, then one thing that I'll always do is I will always find an adjustment for my baby.
Always.
I will always find an adjustment for her, because even when we do have to have that talk and say, okay, baby, this is what's wrong. Because one thing I love about little kids is that they're gonna ask you. Little kids,
Yes.
they
Yes.
gon' they gonna ask you. They don't care
They
who
gonna
you
ask
are.
whatever.
They gonna ask you. They gonna look at you. That's why I don't. That's why I don't take it offensive when little kids be looking at me in the mall and they be like, "Mommy, what happened?" I think
They're trying to
that's the
figure it
funniest
out.
thing.
It's the innocence.
Exactly. They're like, "Mommy, what happened?" And what amazes to me is that parents will shun their kids for asking questions. When
Right.
I'm like, "No, we want to tell you." Now,
Okay.
me personally, I like to make a joke out of it. I tell kids that I got ate by a bear, and that my legs. Well, he was hungry, so he ate my legs first because he thought they were
Hey,
chicken, and they eat it up too. They eat it up.
listen.
They eat
They
it
be like,
up.
"Oh my gosh, you're low key superhero."
They be like, one of the kids came up to me in church and was like, "You got ate by a bear?" Now, my wife, my wife, she crazy. She said, "This is what you get for not." When kids ask her, she be like, "This is what happens to kids when you don't listen to your parents." So now they all scared. They all scared, like, "I'll listen, okay, I'll listen."
Right.
So we use it as a scare tactic for the kids that's disobedient. Only if the kids are disobedient, then we use it.
Right.
But no, it's just that somebody got it right. Say love covered all.
Oh,
That's
that's
all.
my grandma.
That's it. All right, grandma.
Right.
But that's the real truth. I'll make the adjustment for Kenna, because that's my duty as a father. Like, that's my duty as a father, to be there for her in any way possible. I remember I remember even thinking that I couldn't even have kids.
Mm.
So when we found out she was pregnant, I remember it was like maybe what, 2:30 in the morning on
Wow.
June 6th, 2020. We found out. My wife, she was having C-section. Babe, I have some stomach pain. I'm like, okay. She said, we need to go to the emergency room. So we go to the emergency room. They hook her up. And she got the IV in her, and they getting ready to put her on some medicine.
Hmm.
They getting ready to put her on some medicine. So the doctor comes in, and she's like, "I'm sorry, girlie, we can't put you on medicine because you're pregnant." And I'm
Wow.
like, my first reaction was like, "What?
Right.
Like, you what? Like,
Right.
but
By who, cuz?
like, was she pregnant with purpose?
Right.
Um, like, we like what? But the
I
initial
mean, yeah, but
the initial reaction was like, we were excited. I was excited. I remember
Yeah.
the next day we went to CVS and we got pregnancy tests.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, them moms popped up as clear as day. It was like pregnant. We was like,
Really?
yeah. And so the journey of even becoming a dad before she got here was something within itself, because you have to change your mindset
Yeah.
when it comes to kids. Like, that's why I
Exactly.
don't understand. I might step on somebody's toes, but oh well. That's why I don't understand people out here having kids just to have them. Like,
Right.
you having kids just to have them. Like, no, when you have kids, your life is not about you no more.
Exactly.
And this
Such
is
a
why
selfless.
I don't know if we have an abstinence section on here or whatever, but that's why I'm like, nah, that's why we can't play with something that's God instituted. Because anything that God institute has a purpose. So if you out here just doing you and just having kids, 9, 10 kids, and you ain't taking care of your kids, that's a problem. And
Right.
God holds you, whether you saved or not, God holds you accountable for those children because you
Yep.
brought them here.
Yep. That's your
And so
decision.
at the end of the day, um, I just had to change my mentality. Yeah, I had to change my mentality for her. And and even as a married man, you have to change your mentality. But it's
Right.
on another level when you
Yeah.
become a father. When you become a
I
father,
love that.
when you become a
That's
mother.
deep. I
Yeah.
definitely want to ask. So for the people out there, we're gonna say the fathers out there that do have limitations and are kind of like battling the mindset of becoming a father, or okay, now I'm a dad. What do I do? Um, what's something that you can tell them that kind of help you push to that?
Um, honestly, uh, encouragement is gonna be a must. It's gonna be a must, and you're gonna have to surround yourself with people. Like, honestly, I still feel bad to this day because if I'm being transparent, uh, even after the baby was born, I handled postpartum very difficultly,
Mm,
only because I didn't I've heard about it. People would tell me about it, and I think postpartum is different when you're disabled because you desire to do so much. And
yeah.
one thing, even during my wife's pregnancy, I had to I had to do what I could, but then I had to rely on people. And I think that was
Mm,
that honestly, Domo, was the hardest thing for me, because to see my wife, get into the pregnancy, like the first 4 or 5 months, cool. But as she started getting bigger, we needed a lot more help.
right,
And
right,
so
right.
what that did was that kind of discouraged me, because
Mm,
I'm like, God, if I was able, like, God, if I was able to drive, if I was able to, you know, if I was able to, I helped where I could, but the hardest part for me was watching her have to do stuff while she was pregnant. And in the back of my mind, it was like during that time, I'm like, man, this is the time where I should be stepping in and be able to, take the load off her feet and stuff like that.
yeah.
So the biggest thing that I would tell to men, first of all, if you're limited, be comfortable, and don't be afraid to ask for help. Like, one thing about us, I love us as a community, as a disabled community, but one thing that we're real big on is pride. Pride
Who are you talking?
is a big monster. It's a big monster for us. And even still to this day, sometimes I wrestle with it, because
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to be seen as, because we already get the stigma that, oh, disabled people are dependent. That ain't true for
Exactly.
everybody.
Exactly.
That ain't true for
Exactly.
everybody. But there are times where we're going to need to be dependent. And
Right.
so be encouraged, first of all. Know that if your wife is pregnant, and in this day and time, if your girlfriend's pregnant and you disabled, um, you don't be afraid to ask for help. Um, and if I can be honest, one
Do
thing
it.
I failed at, I failed this. I got an F at this, and I'm like, Jesus, okay. Looking back, I'm like, Lord, help me, and I'm telling y'all this so that you don't fail. Communication is going to be a must.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to put your pride aside, man, and you're gonna have to communicate. You're gonna have to encourage her in times where you're not encouraged. And that's
Man.
one thing I can honestly say that I failed at is because of my disability and because I felt inadequate, I let my emotions take over. Let me tell y'all something, man. From a person that's newly married, that's failed this test like 5 times over, but trying to get it now. Uh, we can't be while we are disabled and limited. She still chose you. She
Mm.
still chose you. So you can't let your emotions alter her choice.
That's
And I think
good.
as a disabled community, especially men, we want we want women to cater to our emotions. So when you feel inadequate and you push that off on her, she's gonna be like, I made the wrong choice.
Right.
Yup, you feel what I'm saying?
That's
And
deep.
when you don't, because if there's one thing that I'm learning, Domo, is that confidence. You gotta have confidence, and confidence has nothing to do with your disability. It has to
Right.
do with your self-esteem.
Exactly.
And but that's what I would tell the men. Be confident in who you are. Communicate, um communicate. I'm telling you, communicate, because they're emotions and it's not their fault. If I'm telling you, if I could really go back, I would have communicated. I would have let her know, babe, I'm uncomfortable, because
Hmm.
I know there were times where I wanted to talk to her and say, babe, I want to help you, I want to,
Yeah.
I want to drive, I really want to. And she held it down. I would
Yeah.
say that if I could, man, I'm telling you. That's why when God take me to that place, I really want to bless her, and I'm not saying that for sure. I really
Yeah.
want to bless her,
Yeah.
because if somebody can go through that and still have that mindset,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? It's just awesome. So I would definitely encourage the men that's becoming fathers and they're already fathers. Communicate, be truthful, don't hide. Um, try your best. Try your best not to complain.
I love
Try
that.
try your best. Try your best not to complain. Understand that she's in a very emotional state. She's in a
Hmm.
very fragile state. And even check this out, even if you can't drive and get her cravings at 3 o'clock in the morning, one thing I wish I would have did, I would have Ubered. I would have lifted. Uh,
Yeah.
even if they ain't doing that no more,
Right.
find you a close
Something.
family member that's like,
Yeah.
hey, I need you on deck. That's another thing. I had people that was like, hey, I need you on deck. Like we were in the process of transitioning into our home
Hmm.
that we have now. And that's why I say God really honestly made it easy, because while she was pregnant, we were transitioning and getting this home. That was a whole nother story, but God came
Hmm.
through just in time. But having people there that was willing to help and willing to be there,
Right.
that kind of took the load off. So
I love that. Yeah, that's super dope, bro. Like I'm definitely I'm I appreciate the transparency with you telling people like the real, like this is nah, like this is real life stuff right here. I had to change my mindset. I had to build
yeah,
my confidence. I had to know that yo, I'm taking this role of father to become a better person, not for myself, but actually for my daughter and my wife. And I also had to realize that, yo, I need help. And that's just what it is. I
yeah,
need help.
like there's such a humility. There's such a humility, man, and it's real. And like I said, I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say and tell you that I dotted every I and crossed every T, because that is
Right. Right.
not the truth. Like I said, most of this stuff that I'm talking about is in retrospect, when I
Right.
when I look back on it, because while I was in it, I did not do what I'm talking about
Yeah.
now. And it's crazy how God will do that to you sometimes. And the
Right.
crazy thing was, like I said, I don't think I prepared myself for the reality of after. I think
Mm.
while we're in it and while we're going through the process, because we was going to the ultrasounds, we was like, oh my
Yeah.
God, that's awesome. And we weren't prepared for, well, I wasn't, because she was already in mommy mode. She was in mommy mode
Right.
when the doctor told her she was pregnant. But it didn't really hit me until she was here. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at, because men, we're very physical. We gonna look.
Yeah.
So when she got here and she came into the world looking, um, but when she got here, I think that's when it honestly hit for me. Like, dang, my daughter's
Yeah.
here. Like, I gotta do whatever I can, and that's like when the daddy mode flipped on for me.
Mm-hmm.
And
I love that.
I think that's honestly most men. And I used to get fussed out like that. You're not supposed to turn it on when she gets here, but I'm like, that's how I'm
Yeah,
wired.
that's how I
Like,
gotta process
I
things.
got to I got to that pressure is what pushes me now. That while all the time that's not good in certain situations,
Yeah.
but I'm just being honest. I think that's when it really like hit me, like holding her for the first time in the hospital, and I
Yeah.
looked at her and I'm like she's mine and she looked just like me. So I can't,
Yeah.
not that I ever would. I can't
Right,
deny it because
right,
she
right.
looked just like me. But but
Yeah,
I'm
no,
like,
I
yeah,
love that. That's super dope. And again, like I definitely want to thank you for being a guest on the show. Like I appreciate it so much. You already know you're my bro for life for
you already
sure.
know, Dōmo.
Please let people know where to find you because y'all need to listen. Y'all need to connect with the bishop, okay?
Stop playing.
Connect with the bishop. Let people know where to find you.
Oh man, okay. So I'm really on Facebook. You can look up my name, Joshua Williams. We actually, if I could put this plug in, we have our church is doing a live album on Saturday, September 11th. We're doing an album release. You can find us at Raymond Word Ministries in Lake Elsinore. Um, so that's where I am majority of the time. Y'all can come out and worship with us. We're doing an album release. My apostle and God has allowed me to actually write and sing and on the album. But
Oh,
you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram, Joshua Nathaniel. Y'all be on the lookout. I'm in the works right now of coming out with my uh, gym. It's gonna be a disabled gym. It's called All Abilities Group. All Abilities Group. So we're gonna be coming up with that pretty soon. I'm working on a clothing line for people with disabilities. I got to touch bases with you on that though.
oh, yes.
So I'll be coming out with some shirts pretty soon. But if y'all want to reach me, if y'all want to contact me for anything, just hit me up via Facebook. You'll see my picture and we can chat. Again, I thank you so much for this opportunity. It's been awesome. Anytime we get together, it's awesome conversation.
Right?
It's never a dull moment. So I definitely appreciate you
Ever.
for this opportunity.
Yo, I got you. And I can't wait till all your stuff flourishes and gets out here because you already know I'm a rocket, like you already
Praise
know.
God. I believe you too.
Yeah.
You too, man. You like I'm telling you.
Thank you.
I'm telling you, you about to like. I really believe that you about to like blow up. Like God is really
Thank
about to
you.
open some major doors for you.
I
Like I'm talking about
receive
like
it.
Oprah large. Like it's about to
Let's
be. It's about to be big. You feel what I'm talking about?
let's
That's what's
go.
up.
I appreciate that.
Yes,
All
man.
right, so I definitely appreciate you again for coming on the show. I'm gonna holla at you after this.
For
We
sure.
gonna end it real quick, and then we're gonna let all y'all go. But you already know, bro. I love you.
Love you too,
I love
sis.
you.
Love you
All
too.
right,
Thank
then.
you so much for the opportunity.
I got you
So much.
always.
Yes, man. It's all good.
Sure. All right, y'all. Listen. What? Like we in there. I don't care what nobody say. That's my bro. I really appreciate his transparency and I thank him so much for being on the show. He gave some super dope nuggets because after this, I'm gonna replay it so I could drop these nuggets in me and use them for the future. That was just like ridiculous. Please follow him on the social media sites, like I said, and also his church, what he's getting into. Man, that was just so powerful. I definitely want to thank everyone that tuned in. Thank you guys for taking your time out for being on the show and catching us live and in the comments retreats. I saw you and I love you. Real quick, don't forget about the giveaway. I am doing a giveaway with my book. So the question is asked: when was a time where you felt like you were stuck and you just kind of need to get out of it? It could have been something that you've been through, cycle, keep going through it, or someone that has limited you because of your condition and they didn't see past it. I want to know. I want to know the story. Email me at coachdomojones@gmail.com and I will be telling the winner on the show next week at the very beginning. So I want to hear the stories. For real, for real, for real. This ain't about me. This is about you. The winner will get a signed personal copy of my book and I'm going to ship it to you. Boom, pal. How you like me now? All right, y'all. We out. I love everyone. Everyone. I love y'all. I love y'all. Please be safe out here in this pandemic. Wash your hands. Wash your hands. All that jazz. Next week, we will be live 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you follow me on IG, Coach Dōmo Jones. No, it's not. Coach Dōmo J. And on Facebook, 1 Billion Brave. All right, y'all, we out. Gabe, you know what to do. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Love you. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Get me out of here.